Kaboom.
Okay,
Let's
kaboom.
go. Yeah.
Hello. What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. This is an all-new Trash Talk experience. I'm your host, Abob. This is my boy, Trey. That's my boy, Son. And it's good to be back.
Is this the first episode back? We got to address it to our viewers.
Yeah.
Because we did a recording last week.
Not only last week, we've been trying for the last 3 months and we haven't put anything out.
This is embarrassing. What's the reason we haven't put anything out?
It's like when you're like trying to have kids, but you're infertile.
Damn, bro.
Or you've got a low sperm count, so it's really difficult to actually have a kid.
Most of us
we're
had
trying.
Yeah, we might have had a vasectomy and we don't know about it, so we're gonna keep trying. Hopefully this one goes out. Anyway, I was thinking, how long have we known each other?
I would say 9 years for us. 10 years.
I knew Son when he was a fresh off the boat, not implying that he still isn't, but when he was a fresh off the boat, little boy, 15 years old.
And what about me? Us two have known each other, but we haven't hung out.
I don't know, when did I first...
I don't know, like you were probably like 9 or 10 or something.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. But like I wanted to talk about like life before we all knew each other. How was it? Like our childhood.
Tell us a funny story as a kid.
From your childhood.
No, I want to tell you an experience.
Okay.
I want to tell you guys about a theory, all right?
Sure.
So we have so when I was a little kid, about 6 years old or whatever, we used to live within our school. So like maybe a few hundred.
What do you mean you live in your school?
Within like the area of our school.
Oh, okay,
so we could walk home, right? And being the little kids we are,
Mm-hmm.
our bladders were very weak. And so between school and home, at least one of us out of the 4 of us, my 3 brothers and a friend, someone would usually need to go to the toilet or was busting to go to the toilet, right?
Yeah.
So we developed a theory on what the best way to travel home with the least amount of urgency, with the most, getting home the quickest, with the least way to push your pee out. Does that make sense? That I explained.
I kind of get it, but yeah, explain this.
Timely excretion, like when you do space takeoffs and you just.
So basically, we're trying to get home as fast as we can without making our urge to pee.
Okay.
Without moving your bladder enough that it hurts.
Because the way he's phrasing it sounded like they're peeing a small amount, so it's like pressure release, but it's not really peeing full on.
No. I mean,
sure.
So let's say we've got little
Trey.
Little Trey has like 5 minutes to get home or 500 meters to get home.
Yeah.
Does he run? Does he do a slow jog or does he walk?
I reckon slow jog would be the best because still a body's hot enough that it's burning calories. And keeping.
Why are you bringing it back to calories, bro? It's got nothing to do with calories.
Transferring your water to your energy purposes is like steam kind of thing.
So water from your bladder is being used to burn up,
steam, pretty much like an engine.
It's a good theory, but I would say like the more you move, the less you have the urge to pee. That's what I like. The still you said, the more you have the urge to pee. So if you're running, I would have thought would be the most efficient way.
Our theory was the opposite.
So you walk
we
slow.
We were like, if you run, your ball sack is moving more, right? So that means like your pee wants to come out more.
But your pee is in your bladder, not in your ball sack.
This is a 6-year-old.
Okay, yeah. Keep going.
Anyway, so it was between that or we'll do like a jog but with light steps, so our ball sack moves less.
That was your logic,
so it was like an in between. It was like getting there as fast as you can.
Yeah.
But also not moving your ball sack as much.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our theory. And clearly you guys have
How many
theories.
times did you pee yourself?
Honestly, I used to wet the bed a lot.
This is a very embarrassing story.
Oh yeah,
So as a kid, I could not sit on. So in Pakistan, we have toilets which we used to sit down on the floor. There's like a hole in the ground pretty much, which you have to squat over.
Yeah.
And I could not do that. So I used to have. I wanted commodes.
So you used to squat every day, right?
Nah, not really.
No, why are your legs so warm?
No, I didn't. That's why. So as a kid, I could not use those toilets which required squatting. And my parents used to live in different cities. So my dad used to live in a city 2 hours away from where I grew up. So we used to visit my dad sometimes to go his city. It was a 3-hour trip.
Yeah.
between the cities. Every time I used to travel, I need to go bathroom as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And the way we deal in Pakistan with kids going to bathroom is they piss on someone else's car tires.
Car tires, wall.
Walls and car tires.
No way. Why?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. It's like a logic behind it. I don't know the logic exactly.
There's like a pee wall. Like everyone knows it's dedicated for peeing. So yeah, it could be your house.
So my mom could not take me to a wall. And this is a time where I'm like, turning towards 8, 9, 10.
Right.
Where I'm getting like, modesty, like I can't pee.
I can't pee.
I'm like getting some kind of like conscience about it.
Yeah.
So I could not pee during this whole thing. And my mom had to go to her grandparents' place. So, and it was just 40 minutes away, plus 3 hours I've been controlling myself. And I'm 10 years old right now, so it's already been a struggle. For 40 minutes I control myself. As soon as we go to their house, in the car I could not control myself.
So you pee yourself?
Peed in the car?
In the car, bro. It was so embarrassing because
whose car was it?
It was my uncle's car.
Oh my God.
You did it on purpose then.
No,
He hates his
thing
uncle,
is, bro. I didn't have I had spare clothes because we packed for the whole trip, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not the point. He
But the
doesn't
thing
have a
is, I had
spare
to,
car.
like, the whole.
You don't have spare shame, brother.
Nah, I have too much. I have no shame, so that was besides the point. But like, I had to face everyone in the house.
Everyone knew you had done
Everyone, like, I knew I had done this, and I just avoided them until I had to come outside of the shower, and then I had to face the consequences. And it was embarrassing, man.
In general, what was your childhood like? Do you think it was like
I have a funny story about my childhood.
Like, let me ask this: was it like super disciplined, or like were you free to do whatever?
See, the thing is, I did whatever I wanted to do for the longest time, but it was not. I was allowed to do that, so it was not disciplined. Like I was disciplined by my parents heaps through physical consequences and emotional trauma.
Emotional trauma.
Like
you make a question.
Is,
What about
bro?
the physical consequences?
No,
bro?
I know. Like he gets smacked or belted or whatever. That's Pakistan, bro.
Okay,
Made me, like changed schools, classes, all that stuff. That made like I lost friends every single year because I was in trouble with spreading pornography.
Okay.
Giving people the talk, fighting, and all that
wait,
stuff.
No, tell me this story.
Gloss over that
Yeah,
point.
tell us about this. Like,
So this is back in 2004. I remember this because I know the book in question right now.
How old were you at this point?
Would have been 9, I guess.
9. Okay, 9.
Yeah.
Spreading pornography at 9.
Early age.
That's not a felony. That's not a felony. You can get away with it. Yeah.
So back then there was no internet. I mean, there was internet, it was dial-up, and there was like logistically impossible. So back then, knowledge was strictly through TV, and I guess that's it. To be honest, so
and like magazines and shit or something.
not in Pakistan.
Or your imagination.
That's non-existent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh yes.
so we were in. I was in class 3 or 4 back then, and we had a school class and we had a library. We used to have a library class. We used to go library and do nothing because no one read books, bro. Who does that? So
I could tell.
of course. So there was a book called Guinness Book of Records 2004,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and there was a girl with ice skating uniform on.
Right. Okay.
She was kind of like back for a kid that is in Pakistan, never been exposed to anything. She was kind of like
Exotic.
Yeah. Exotic's like putting it kindly, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
Like what's
Peak. Like peak
what
human.
else can you rhyme with exotic?
Peak
Erotic.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't want to say that. It's a family podcast. So it's coming from your mouth. It's different from me. But
Okay,
yeah. So it was like it wasn't that bad. Anything. It was just a skating thing. I just showed it to a friend of mine.
Yeah.
This teacher said, "What are you guys seeing?" And he just says, "I can showing me this naked lady." And I got in trouble for that, but nothing happened.
No, but
can you explain was she like
She was just literally.
what was she wearing?
I'm bad with description, but she was wearing like a romper or something. Like when kids are young, they wear
The
a
hell is a
romper.
romper?
You know, like skating, like Winter
Skating
Olympics, they
uniform.
wear those like skin tight like suits. Yeah, that's
like
what he's.
onesies, bro. Like kids,
Yeah,
the babies they wear
right.
onesies. So
skin tight onesie.
So yeah, he
No
says
skin.
Huh?
No skin.
Like they have some legs or like arms showing,
Okay,
but like I just showed it to him,
Yeah.
and he says he's showing me naked woman,
and the
so
teacher took it as pornography.
that was what it was labeled as. So my mom was about to get called, but then we had parent-teacher meeting soon. I didn't tell my mom that I got in trouble for this
Yeah.
until she went parent-teacher meeting, and I knew what's gonna happen. So
Yeah.
the night before parent-teacher meeting, my parents took me to Subway. Now my parents were not the richest people, so when you go to Subway, it's like a once in like a blue moon. When they love me a bit more, it's like one of those days.
Glad they did it before the.
In my mind, I was like,
This is my last meal.
this is gonna bite me tomorrow.
Yes.
When she came back, bro, I got a beating of like
No, but your mom like didn't like ask you what was the situation.
The thing is, like, there was like, there's no
discussion.
Me,
like, there's no discussion.
So even for a kid, for me, as a kid in Pakistan back then, even this was a taboo. Like, you know, scaring women wearing that kind of stuff, which you just gloss over.
Yeah.
But the taboo, like, I don't know about you guys, but I never see any kissing or any romantic scenes with my parents. We just look away, pretend to be on a phone, so look down. So with that kind of upbringing, like, you can't never rationalize what I was seeing, which is obviously.
So in their mind, everything was justified. Should have.
Yeah.
So in Pakistan, obviously, it was a very conservative upbringing that you had.
My one.
Well, most kids have it, I would say. Like, if you're out and about, like in your house, it might be different, but generally in Pakistan, it's very conservative. Yeah. So, I grew up in the Middle East. It was very conservative, but the issue with like my situation was our school was like super strict. Like, it was strict to the point like China's like the social credit system. Yeah. It's like up to that level. So we had like security cameras in every class. So there was literally a guy sitting upstairs with like CCTV footage in front of him.
Like Squid Game spec.
Squid Game spec. Like, and then he had a feed into every classroom. So if one kid like moves, does something wrong, gets up without asking the teacher, intercom into that classroom. Oh yeah, such and such kid and we had seating arrangements. So like LR, like some chess placement, he would be like, this kid did this. Teacher punishes you straight away. Damn, so it was a very strict school. Rough. Then they had
that's why Bobby Boy is such a straight
that's why I'm ultra disciplined, I think, like, because I went through like 6 years
like
of
breaking the rules or anything. I know why now.
So they had a system where year 1 to 3 they had a system where they would put your face on either a black apple, a green apple, or red apple. Red apple meaning you're good apple. Green apple like black apple meaning you're bad. Okay. Then they were like, oh, we need to be more sophisticated. So they went on a demerit and merit system.
Okay. Yeah.
If you get 5 merits every week, school assembly, you get called up on stage. Everyone claps for you. It's like, oh yeah, this did. Yeah. And they give you the mic and then they tell you, or say what you did good this week. Similarly, if you did something bad, they call you up on stage and they go,
what's a funny story from there? Do you remember anything?
Yeah, so my cousin, he used to get in trouble like every week. Poor kid used to get called up every week. He would go on and then have to recite what he did wrong. Anyway, so yeah, because my school was like this, like I didn't enjoy school at all. Yeah.
See, so this is not an embarrassing story of flirting. I know a very embarrassing story of flirting in high school. Primary school, actually.
Yeah.
So in Pakistan, my school was a boys' school and we used to have a sister school, a girls-only school. Yeah. But we were close enough that you could have some kind of like interaction if you wanted to, but this was all taboo. Like, you used to interact with them on the buses on the way back, but in school capacity that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
My best friend in Pakistan was a school gangster. Like,
what do you mean by school?
But like school gangsters are people
like
that are
bully
like rich,
or like
bully, rich. Father's like a don kind of thing. So, so he has always got connections and stuff.
Yeah.
And people like this for somehow attract more girls than like normal kids, like good kids like do. Damn. So I wanted to be like him, kind of thing.
The son became a bad boy.
No, I wasn't. And you'll notice why I wasn't. So me and him decided to go to meet the girl he was talking to, his girlfriend, allegedly.
Yeah.
Or so we said. So he said, on a Friday. So every Friday, my mom used to give me 5 rupees, which is a very small amount. But you can back then you can buy some kind of poppadoms or...
You would buy poppadoms
with masala on top.
Okay, yeah, masala is important.
So I used to get poppadoms or corn on a cob. Not on a cob, but like some corn made in sand. So this Friday, it's like a day we pray, and so we get early mark off. I went to get some poppadoms while I was meant to meet him and his missus.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
At 10, bro, missus, bro.
So I said, I'm going to join you in a minute. I'm just going to get something for me. He gave me money. He was rich too, so he gave me extra money so I can get something for him. I was like, no worries, bro. I'll get some. And leftovers will be like, I'll eat some too.
Yeah.
No dramas. So I said, I'm going to see you outside the girls' school. I go up to girls' school and some guy's getting beaten. And there's like a whole like commotion going on, like it's a whole circle. I'm trying to weasel my way through in. I see my friends getting beaten by 5 or 6 guys. And they have like in Pakistan we used to take water bottles which are like thermos specs.
Yeah. Okay. You can like smack some people with them if you need them.
It's got a thermos. It's got like a loop thing which you can put on your shoulders. Like and everyone's got thermoses on his hand and they're beating my friend. And the rationale was because he was talking to one of their sisters.
So girls were beating him up or guys?
No. So the guys were beating because one of the girls, The girl he was talking to was sister of this
Oh,
guy.
okay, yeah.
And I'm glad if I was there, I would have been part of it.
So you glad you went to get called
Yeah,
on the
just
call.
like,
Yeah, that's ruthless.
So
bro.
since then, I'm like, I've been like, I'd rather not be bossy in this stuff.
Yeah.
You don't want to get them as leading up. So yeah. What about like outside of school? Obviously, like, was life good for you when you came back home? Was like things where did you have fun with your cousins or whatever growing up? Or
Yeah, did you guys grow up around a lot of family?
yeah, I did in Dubai. Like that was my escape essentially. Because school sucked. We would come back home by 5. After 5, we had tutoring until 6. So like nothing. There was no like breakup in the day. Only time we would get to spend was like me and my cousins would like go like bike riding.
Fit.
Anyway, one time me and my cousin we like forgot, like we lost track of time. We didn't have phones on us, so like we went on a bike ride and then we went like 10 kilometers away from home. So we had no way of communicating back home, like we'll be back on time, and we had no idea what the time was. So, and our parents said like 9 o'clock was like cut off time, like be back home by then.
Yeah.
So me and my cousin, we just like found this park. We like jumped the fence, brought over our bikes, and then we're just like, it's like a skate park-esque thing, and we're just like riding our bike.
In Middle East, right?
Back in Middle East. And then we like, oh bro, it's kind of getting late. We should get going. So we're like leaving. At the gate, this guy like stops us. Some random Indian guy just like comes up to us. Weird thing was he was holding his crotch. Okay. He was holding his crotch, and then he was like,
Wait, how old are you?
I was like 9. My cousin was 9 as well.
Right.
So he was like, do you guys know where the toilet is? So, and he had a thick Indian accent. He was asking this question. And then we're like, yeah, we can show you. My cousin like kind of whispers to me, it's like, I think this guy's like trying to follow us or whatever. So we're like, okay, come with us. So we start riding, and then we like point to him that there's a mosque over there. Maybe you can find a toilet over there. But he kind of still continues to follow us. So me and my cousin just like leg it. Like we're not. So we leg it. His house was closer. We go upstairs. We knock. No one's at home. We're like, oh, this is weird. Like, why is no one at home? So we're like, oh, we'll go to my place. It's not that far. We come back down. We go to my place. As we're going up, I'm in the lift. I press the button. I look up at the clock. It's 1 o'clock at night. Okay. So I come up from the lift. The lift door opens. So we used to be on the 12th floor. Lift door opens. Half our family is in front of the lift, right? And they're all like holding their head. As soon as they see us, everyone's face is red. So I'm like slowly bring my bike in.
But did you get some kind of immediate love, or was it beating straight
My
up?
brother takes my bike out of my hand. My dad grabs my hand, takes me inside. My cousin's dad is standing outside. His brother grabs his bike from his hand, drags him into the lift. We're going home. He goes down. I see the lift door closing. My cousin's face is all drained.
That was the last time you saw it.
Yeah, and then my face is all drained. I go in expecting the biggest beat down of my life. My dad goes to his room. My mom goes to her room, the same room. My grandparents go to their room. My uncle, everyone just like goes to their room. We used to have a big family. My brother's the only one sitting across from me, and he goes, "Boy, are you in trouble?" He goes, leaves. I'm just sitting in the hole like, I'm like, what do I do? Do I go to my room?
I'd rather have a beating.
Yeah, I'd rather have a beating because I know I've done something wrong and I deserve this.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I don't want to even go in my room because I used to share a bed with my sister at the time. So that I don't want to like go into the room. So then like, I just sleep in the hall. I wake up in the morning, my dad's standing over me and he goes, "Where were you last night?" I'm like, "Oh no, we were just like, like got lost track of time." He's like, "You're not going out for a month." I'm like, okay. I'm expecting like a slap or something to come. He just turns around, walks away. I'm like, okay, I got away with it. I'm like relieved. And then next day I tell my brother this happened. He's like, yeah, probably don't tell you got followed home by someone because then you'll definitely get a beat down. Like when I used to travel to Pakistan, like in the summer, once we were done with like school in Middle East, we would travel to Pakistan. That was the most enjoyable time spent because in Pakistan, there's no rules with anything. You can get away with doing anything you want. Yeah. Me and my cousins, like whenever we would go, it would be mostly for weddings. Your family used to own like a wedding.
My dad used to own a wedding hall.
Yeah.
Have I told you this story?
No, go for it.
So my dad had many different investments, successful and unsuccessful. Wedding hall was also
unsuccessful was son over here.
Come on, man. So wedding hall was an investment he did back in Pakistan, and I was really proud of it because it was a very big place. It looked nice, fancy. And the manager over that place, so this is a part to this wedding hall. Wedding halls aren't really profitable throughout the year in Pakistan.
Yeah, there's seasons for it.
There's seasons for it.
Yeah.
I think it's globally though. Like some seasons you would never.
Especially in Pakistan, I feel because they have like
clarifying
grand
Pakistan
wedding.
after every single item.
Not every culture has wedding
Some people, like the scale they have it in Pakistan is not comparable.
Because we have
Only
weddings
India.
in June, July, and then November. That's
And
like
December,
December.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's like the common times most people get married down there. But so for us to make every month profitable, we used to have this a company that used to clean our cutlery, everything in the wedding hall.
Yeah.
So they were like service people, yeah.
No. So this was a company that used to come after hours.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
For free, and
Yeah.
they used to take
For free.
and they used to take leftover food
As like payment.
as their thing.
Yeah.
So my dad eventually realized what's happening because it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
They used to sell it later.
Oh, they stole cutlery. Oh no, they stole the food.
No,
They used to resell the
leftover
food.
food they sold.
They used to sell the food later.
What, like did they take whole food or even like?
No. I'm talking about the stuff from the plates and like leftovers.
What the hell?
There's a market for it, bro.
I don't know how viable can it be because
No, but like it's kind of like saving you time because one, you don't have to carry it home.
But so my dad's concern was like
He's missing out on money.
Like how is he not making this money?
No. His concern was like we promoting something that's like indecent because the people that eat the food from leftovers.
Yeah, bro. Haven't they heard of COVID, man?
That's what I'm telling you. In Pakistan, there's no regulations on this, so you can get away with it.
So
who's gonna come check? Like ask them, like, oh, you're doing this wrong. Who's gonna check on them?
like no one.
Yeah.
But the thing is like this is one of those things.
Was your shadi hall one of those ones like where it was like one next to?
I was like this was like a
Separate?
one off kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So in Pakistan, what they have is like mostly shadi halls like right next to each other.
Shadi hall is wedding halls.
Wedding halls, yeah. Sorry. So you would have like one wedding going on, another wedding going on, third wedding, fourth
Yes,
wedding.
I hate them because everyone thinks they're VIPs. They wanna stop in front of the wedding hall.
Yeah.
They don't care if other wedding is being stopped or anything.
Like,
Yeah.
and they don't care about neighbors either. So you have weddings till 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Yeah. So what we used to do, I've actually probably gate crashed more weddings than I've attended my own weddings.
Just because they're right next.
They're right next to each other.
Right.
You go to one, suss out the food. This is good over here. This is bad over here. So there's like 10 cousins
and
of
they
us.
don't have like a guest list or anything. You can just
Bro,
walk.
there's like
Nah.
300, 400 people in
Because
there
our weddings are
minimum.
big, 400 people.
Yeah.
like,
Who's gonna
it's
stop
not-
you and check like, oh, whose kid are you?
Yeah.
So we would send like 2 each. Like you go this one, I go this one, you go that one, right? Bring one good thing you find from each, okay? And then we sit outside. We bring the plates, like doesn't matter. Like we sit outside, eat it, and then we don't even return the plates.
Yeah.
That's how you enjoyed your weddings. It was
so
like
during
super
his
fun.
wedding halls, my dad's biggest benefit was we used to taste the food. Every single wedding, we used to get dips on the food.
Yeah.
Like taste testing
Taste-
beforehand.
Not
Yeah.
taste testing, like whatever you want is we were part of this thing.
Right, yeah.
But my dad didn't actively sit in the shop in the wedding hall.
Yeah.
So he used to be like a manager that used to oversee the bookings and stuff.
Yeah.
And he died within 6 months.
The manager.
Manager. Because bro, Pakistani food
For
is
food. Because of food.
bro. He got so overweight. Every night he was eating karahi.
Holy shit.
So he died in 6 months. And once he died, my dad realized like,
But like
this
Pakistani food is dangerous,
it's
bro.
dangerous,
like,
man.
There's so much oil and shit in there. Holy crap.
Because my dad used to sometimes bring food over, like, if you had a nice biryani, he used
That's
to just pack
danger.
some.
Yeah.
And after that, we realized this is unsustainable.
Damn, son.
Another big thing in Pakistan is when the Eid happens, when they slaughter animals and stuff.
Yeah.
That's like either like the biggest scam takes place or like the biggest money making takes place. But it's all
Scam.
what people do is like obviously they want the biggest animal, one to show off to other people that we have the biggest animal, and the bigger the animal normally means the more you paid for it.
Yeah.
So what they would do is like you would go down to what's called Bakra Mandi. Bakra Mandi basically means this like place where they sell animals. So they all like have like a setup. They bring their animals. I'm selling this for this, and you have a bidding war on it. So like it's like auctioned off. Like
Yeah.
so one guy goes, this guy goes. What they do is they inject the animals with either water at times or steroids to like bulk them up. So the animal looks, if they look bigger, they weigh
Yeah,
them and
bro.
they're like, oh yeah, this animal looks
Sunny
big.
actually uses the same technique, I've heard.
Where do you? So yeah, I've heard they just like sometimes just inject them with water to make them look puffy. So there's massive fights over
Water
this.
can't make you puffy, bro. Water.
Yeah, I'm
like,
thinking, where would you inject the water though?
I think it's gonna be some kind of
Maybe
glucose
like
solution.
Botox, like cow
Yeah,
Botox.
it's
They
gonna be
inject them, make
Like
them look
something,
bulky.
but like it wouldn't be water. Like
Yeah, but like
Otherwise, sign me up, bro.
so like people, what they do is they buy it in advance. So like this event would be coming up, they buy the animal 2 months, 1 month beforehand.
And then fatten it up.
They fatten it
Slaughter
up
it,
and then they
whatever,
like
yeah.
slaughter it and then get the meat out of it. One time, me and my cousin, like what they used to do is like walk their cow down, just give it like a joyride, bring it back home. One time, my cousin let go of the rope, and that cow just started running away.
someone else's cow.
No, his cow.
Fair enough.
So we're chasing this animal across like the
The whole
streets and
streets,
street. He's like, I'll go get my bike. You just keep an eye on it. I'm like, I can't see it. I don't know where it is. Just try to find it. I'm gonna get my bike. It will be a lot easier for us to chase on it. We're like looking around. We see the school. Some kid is sitting on the wall of the school, and it's like, oh, there's a cow in here. We look over, and it's our cow. Yeah. So my cousin like goes, okay, I'm gonna stand at the door. You go inside and then try to lure it towards the door, and I'll grab it. I'm like, okay, sound logical. Yeah, okay. I like get a stick and I'm like trying to like make it move, and the cow just like flattening my like thing away with its.
It's not attacking you per se.
Yeah, it's not attacking me. The kid that was sitting on the fence jumps over. It's like, oh, I have a technique, bro. He had one of those like, you know, when you shake someone's hand, it like buzzes you. Like, have you seen like electrocute? Yeah. Okay. He used that on the cow's butt. Okay, the cow like jumps up, starts running, and the only exit it sees is the door of the school. My cousin, the idiot, standing in the way.
Did it bulldoze him?
Bro, cow went straight for his balls, bro. Just like knocked him out.
That's rough, man.
He recently got married, so we'll soon find out if he can have kids or not. But like he got trampled. He's like 12.
Like you can pinpoint it to one incident.
Like, that incident, he was concussed after a while. But the cow hit him, went outside, and it's sat back down. By then, we found enough people to help us. My cousin's all concussed and everything. I'm like, I'll take you to the hospital. He's like, no, just take me home.
How old were you back then?
He was 12. I was 13 at the time.
Okay, sure.
So, and then once we brought it back home, my cousin's all beaten up. And then he's like, don't tell anyone we got like lost track of it. So just say I got beat up by...
And now you're telling it to the world.
Yeah, well, now we're telling it to the world. He's married. I'm pretty sure he's told his wife to be or whatever.
I reckon that was the best time for me, like Eid time, like...
It's the most fun. Like you do crazy stuff and like,
Cows are dumb, bro. Cows don't... Like people say cows have feelings. They may, but they don't have intelligence.
I remember you telling me this.
I've told him story. I think I'll tell you in our viewers now. In Pakistan, we used to have cows during Eid time... cut in front of each other.
Bro, the animals,
blood's flowing, no emotions, nothing, man. Honestly, if you feel guilty of eating a burger, don't worry
maybe
about
Pakistan.
Bro, like, do you reckon Pakistani cows are dumber than...
They're desensitized. Like, just how we watch TV and we see death, we're desensitized to it. Same with cows over there.
You calling me a cow?
Yeah. Australian cows may be a different situation. Maybe they do act up like if they see it.
Western cows are better than South Asian
this is
cows.
like, his colonial mindset coming through.
I'm sick of this kid,
definitely.
bro.
Anyway, so like Pakistan was fun,
Have you boys ever run away from home when you were a kid?
Bro, I've been so many times.
I've never even thought about it.
Like I feel like I would pack my bag. I'd be like, I'm gonna...
How old are you speaking?
Would have been 6 or 7 again.
Okay, so
6, 7,
nothing in
8
your teens?
maybe. No, not in my teens.
Come on.
Nothing in my teens. Bro, what? All right.
What was traumatic at 6 and 7? What was triggering you?
It would be dumb stuff. It would be like, oh, you're not getting me this toy, or you're not getting me this whatever it was.
What spoiled kid you were, bro?
Bro, I was a bit privileged when I was little.
Okay, yeah, true.
Anyway,
you were born and raised in Australia, so
yeah. So it'd be like, oh, you're not getting me this little thing. I'm gonna find a new family who's rich and who'll buy me everything, and then I would pack my bag.
Did you get slapbacks when you came back home?
No, not really. They would. I think they would. Like my parents.
They would encourage us, like, go for it.
They would laugh at me, bro. They'd be like, okay, he's gonna come back. And sure enough, like I'd walk, I'd turn the corner of the street, and I'd walk a little bit more,
and then start crying.
And then I'd just like sit down and be like,
Didn't think this through, bro.
And then I'd end up back home within the hour.
How many times did you try this?
I feel like I did it like a handful of times, maybe 3 times or something like that.
No, I'm like trying. Like it wasn't anything like bad that was happening. It was just silly stuff that was causing you to do this.
Yeah, no, it was never anything bad.
See, if you're 6 or 7, understandable. I did it until I was 19, 20.
1920.
So
that's not that long ago, bro.
Yeah, so my parents, like, it's been a while now, but like they used to threaten me, like, I'm gonna cook you out, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's different to you wanting to leave.
Nah, so the last time I just actually packed up. I talked to my friends, like, I'm gonna come in with you guys. And my friends are like, fine, no worries, I got you back.
Yeah.
And my parents knew I was serious this time around.
Yeah.
And since then, they haven't done this drama. Because I know previously
Bold strategy.
Previously they used to be like, where am I gonna go to my grandparents' place? They're gonna kick me out after 3 days. I'm gonna have to come back.
Yeah.
This time I had $600 a week coming through Mac's, and I had a shitty ass wagon. And the wagon, if you've seen my previous car, it can fit anything I wanted.
Yeah.
So you could sleep in it if you needed to.
Yeah, pretty much. I had everything you can imagine, from like shoes to toilet paper, food, protein powder. So I could survive off my wagon.
You had a toilet. You could piss on the tire if you needed to.
I had Mac's for that.
Okay, yeah.
So like my friends were like, fine, no worries. And then this is where my mom stopped me, and she was like, But I don't know why exactly they want to kick me out. Because
Yeah.
I was trying to come up stories for this podcast.
I can
but
think of a few reasons.
Did you guys have like any like people you looked up to or role models you would think like when you were younger? Like it's like, oh yeah, I wanted to be like that person.
Kid, everything your role models do is like the biggest thing for you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I feel like they change a lot. At least for me, they did. Like I never
Then
had
you
one
probably
set
got into
role model.
basketball and then it became basketballers.
Yeah, but you can't like role models are a bit difficult for basketball because you don't have any sort of interaction or there's no chance of seeing
Yeah.
them either. It's all on the screen. and
That's why I
stuff.
think my like
How come if you were in America, wouldn't you be able to see them in games or they're like secluded?
No, you can see them and sometimes take pictures with them before the game and stuff. But superstars maybe not. But definitely with like general basketball.
But you didn't have any role models in your like immediate circles, like teachers or like adults in your life.
Ah, that's boring, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, my older brother, son might agree with me here. Like
Yeah,
my older
agreed.
brother's been a pretty good role model.
He
Like
would.
when I was growing up,
Yeah.
like obviously.
Bobby, who was your role model?
My role models were all like I used to look up to cartoons and stuff, bro. I used to watch like Samurai
Samurai
Jack and
Jack,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, the Samurai Jack was my hero growing up, bro.
Not
Mine
Johnny
was
Bravo.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
What?
Courage the Cowardly
Bro,
Dog.
Why?
respect, bro. This kid had so much courage, bro. He used to face all his fears. So like anything he was scared of,
Yeah, but
Dead straight.
he was a pussy for half this episode.
that's like you. Despite you being pussy, you still face your
What?
fears. That was
Learn-
the thing
learn.
with Courage the Cowardly Dog. Cartoon Network has amazing.
See,
so
I've
Samurai
always been an
Jack-
artsy kid myself. Like,
I
so
thought yours would be Johnny Bravo, bro.
no. So I
Did
was.
you go to an art school?
I went to
Creative
art school
course or
too.
shit?
Like, yeah. So I've always been into music and culture and
Can,
No, you
society.
wouldn't.
can we just stop,
So-
pause, and just imagine Sun drawing a picture in like an art room,
You don't need to imagine, bro.
painting a portrait?
Bro, art is subjective. So
Art's
like he could,
subjective.
yeah.
So for me personally, my role models have been artists all the time.
Who?
R. Kelly.
Bro, he's a singer, though.
He never starts with this joke, bro.
It's funny because we always don't recall like he's gonna say.
For some reason, I still don't expect it.
Yeah, it's still like
I was
yeah.
proud of the setup.
Any joke he will bring it back to R. Kelly somehow. What do you like about R. Kelly?
What is not to like about him?
Okay.
I think it's his voice, man. I think. Shit. I was watching TV with my cousins, and being Pakistani, attraction to cousins is inherent.
Oh yes.
I was at least 9 or 10.
Okay, clarify please. Was it male or female?
All of them are female. Oh.
Okay.
Are you gonna judge me? If, like,
No.
why do you need? Why do you
so
need
you're
clarification?
I just need a
homophobic.
clarification.
Why?
So I can picture it better in my
Oh,
head.
fair
Just-
enough.
yeah,
That's
I'm like trying to
understandable, yeah.
visualize the story.
So all of these cousins are like 2, 3, 4 years older than me, and like for me, because I wasn't exposed to girls in school,
yeah.
these are the only females I know outside my mum. So I
That's
was
the
like,
sad truth.
that is sad truth,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
But it's part of life. What can you do? This
Yeah.
is how tough time make tough men.
Mm.
I didn't have really tough times, but
Yeah.
so these cousins are like, we are watching TV, and there's a Shah Rukh Khan movie. Shah Rukh Khan's like a Bollywood superstar.
He's like Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise
Yeah.
Tom
Equivalent.
Cruise of India, Pakistan.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Subcontinent, yeah. So we're watching this movie, and my cousin mentions this. Oh, we can see his penis, and I'm like, why can't I see this? Because we're looking at the same screen right now, and I'm looking at it inherently, and all my cousins started like, girls started giggling and like saying we can see his penis, and I'm like, man, what's wrong with me? Are they just messing with me? Why can't I see this?
Yeah.
It turns out my short was
So they were pointing at you.
there was a hole.
I remember the story now.
There was a hole in my shorts, and I was so embarrassed, I just ran away. And
Where the hell were you looking when they were
I
like,
was looking at the TV, bro. Like, I
you
was
were like, you were like, yo, where is this, bro?
Yeah,
and then they're
I
like,
was like this. Like, I didn't pay attention what's happening, and they say like, he can see his penis. I'm like, why can't I see this? Like, are they messing with me? Are
Yeah.
they looking at some other screen? Back then there were no phones, so I was confused.
yeah.
I've got a theory. If it was sizable, they would have been scared.
Could be, bro. I was like 7 years.
Okay, fair enough.
Not that much has changed
I don't
since
want to
then,
talk
but
about 7-year-old penis.
Yeah.
yeah, nah, but like, I mean,
I'm not R. Kelly.
Yeah, I'm not imagining this story at all. As soon as he mentioned that, I'm like, yeah, the
Yeah, so-
imagination is gone.
so since then I've tried to actively avoid contact with them. Like, I'm pretty sure they
With
would
these specific cousins.
like all of them. Yes.
Bro,
Yeah.
to this day, right?
This is
To
like
this day.
we don't live in the same country, so it's easy to like not acknowledge it. But I visited I just like lowered the case down. I never acknowledged them. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't remember this, but
Yeah.
like for me, it's been like, yeah.
Anyway, this is getting boring. So we might as well call it quits in this
Easy. Good
podcast.
sesh, guys.
No, wait. Let me do the outro, bro. All right. Thank you all for listening. Please check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts at Trash Talk Experience. And yeah, check us out next week. Peace.